good morning, and this is Omster. Today we have a replay cast between Fundamentals and Le Equipe here in Division B East of the Nexus Gaming Series. So, these two teams have banned Towers of Doom and Volskaya Foundry on the side of Fundamentals, and Le Equipe has banned Garden of Terror and Cursed Hollow. Because we don't have a draft phase in a replay cast, we'll do a quick draft analysis when we hop into the game. And after that, we will just hop in and see what these teams have to give us. So, game number 1 on Dragonshire, a map all about point control, and because you had a point on the top, a point in the bottom, and a capture point in the middle, it is all about knowing where and when to send your teammates, when to go for camps, when to fight, when your opponent's outnumbered. So we'll see which team has the best resource control. Let's hop into game number 1 between Fundamentals and Le Equipe. So, on the left, in the blue, we do have Fundamentals. They've drafted Anubrak, Malthael, Falstad, Stukov, and Li Ming. All really solid heroes for this map. Malthael can win against most melee characters on the point. Anubrak with good AoE stuns in tight areas on the points. Falstad having a global is very, very strong on this map to outnumber very quickly. And again, wanting to win 1v1s, wanting to win 2v2s, if you can suddenly make that a numbers advantage for your side, that's a big deal. We got Stukov, which is also great at restricting access to areas or changing the flow of a team fight, and Li Ming also good at hitting an area. So this is a team that kind of wants to fight in and around the beacons, and they've got a good team for doing so. Other than that, they've got solid camp clear, they've got solid wave clear, so overall, pretty good. I don't have any music in here. Why is that? Maybe it's the lack of continuous music? Anyway, I guess it doesn't matter. On the far side, we have Chromie. We have Le Equipe. We've got Chromie, Stitches, Anduin, Leoric, and Genji. So while not a global, Genji has very fast rotation ability, so he can, to some degree, help match Falstad. Again, not as quickly, but very helpful. Chromie, very, very strong at covering the bottom by herself if she needs to be, but also, like Li Ming, able to do lots of damage in tight corridors. Stitches is just a pick that gets stronger and stronger the longer the game goes and the longer death timers are with that Hook Gorge combo. One of the best healers in the game in Anduin. And Leo can double soak if you need him to. He can duel if you need him to. Just an all-around good offlaner who, even if he gets ganked, can often get away. And the Chromie, Genji, Chromie sets up people, gets them low, Genji finishes them off. So a decent fighting combo here. Their camp clear and their wave clear aren't quite as strong. Chromie's okay. Chromie's good at wave clear. Genji offers nothing in that area. But she can't be on the wave and on a camp at the same time. And Leo isn't exactly the best at it either. So in a macro sense, I would say blue has a slightly stronger composition. But red is no slouch either. So without further ado, let's get into game number 1 between Fundamentals and Le Equipe. Can we get some pause? Let's find out. All right. In the blue, we have Fundamentals. We've got Stixa on Anubarak, Ronan playing Malthael, Moroving Ian on Falstad, Kina on Stukov, and Rock Ripper 21 playing Li Ming. In the red, we have Le Equipe, a French team. We have Mesos and Chromie, Rebirth on Stitches, Elagar on Anduin, Battu on Leoric, and Trad playing Khunji. That was bad. That last one was especially bad, especially egregious. So we do see some pretty strong poke out of fundamentals. Throwing out those hammers, throwing out the Li Ming combos. Trad looking for an opportunity to jump in, maybe surprise Falstad, but doesn't get low enough for it to be a problem. We'll look at the level 1s as the teams start to split into their wave clear duties. We've got the Nerubian armor, so spell armor, additional spell armor on that W for a Nubarak. Getting a little annoyed with the Genji, just knocks him into the air. Oh, the hook hits a beetle. Oh, that was a close one. We do have On a Pale Horse, so they do plan to double soak with these offlaners today. Leo, a good off soaker. On a Pale Horse, but again, Genji, very good. Doesn't need a global to be annoying when the bottom and mid lane are so close here. Anduin comes up as well. They're looking to kill Ronan. He does have more healing when there's 3 people, and it looks like he'll get away here. Trad, unwilling to dive the towers for that. We have Gathering Storm, the hammering stacking quest from the Falstad. Low blow from Stukov and Force Armor. And they do finally get the Malthael. And killing the double soaker is very strong because that forces the opposing team to split up. But in the bottom, they know they're up in heroes. They try to kill Mezzos on Chromie, but they are unsuccessful. Oh, slightly mistimed the time trap. Rock Ripper gets out without taking any damage. Falstad was clearing mid, and in the top, Malthael is coming back, the Angel of Death, tasting his own portfolio. On the right side, with Equipe, we do have... Hey, Chatrad. We do have Time Walker's Pursuit for the Chromie, strong vision control, which is what you want on the Tri-Brush map. We've got Hungry for More for Stitches, Even-Handed Blessings for Anduin, Fealty unto Death, which I'm seeing a lot more from Leoric recently. Did they buff that? I almost always see Aussie and Renewal, or if you're into a lot of melees, you see the Skeletal Swing Talon. But anyway, they're pressuring Ronan once again, not able to get a kill, but in the mid, Rebirth on Stitches is able to try and annoy them a bit. Top is recaptured by Leoric here. We do have the Agile Dismount from Genji. The hook just misses Falstad, but in the bottom, Chromie is killed as there's only 2 heroes down there, and that's that. I always appreciate the compliments, Chad Trad. Appreciate it big time. So far this game has been really back and forth. There's 1 kill for each team. Of course, the Chromie getting her talents earlier than everyone else. We do see Genji going for the stacking Shuriken quest, Shuriken Mastery. I am a cyber ninja. So Ronan recapturing the top shrine. In the bottom, Rebirth capturing the bottom shrine. The Shrine of the Moon versus the Shrine of the Sun. And Leoric will rotate right back onto it, as both teams collect their Siege Giants and are looking to create map mismatches. There was a momentary advantage that they're fighting here in the bottom. 3 versus 3. Falstad is mid. In the top once again. Trad is here trying to cause Ronan to be uncomfortable, but he'll simply hop back onto the point to capture the Shrine of the Sun. Falstad takes a big chunk of damage from Mezzo Sandblasts there. The Siege Giants take a lot of damage. And the red Siege Giants are already cleared. Reaper standing on this point. Trad jumps down, jumps onto the back line. He's hitting with Shuriken. Out comes the deflect. Oh, but the silence comes, the low blow comes out. The combo comes out from Li Ming, and that's going to be Rebirth dead and Trad low. And that will be advantage fundamentals. Meanwhile, Ronan still double soaking. Leoric, Batu still double soaking. Trad putting that pressure on Malthael again. Try me. Stitches just coming back to life now. Sorry, I was so enamored watching that Genji that I let there be dead air. Oopsie doopsies. Trad does jump in onto Moroving Ian. Rebirth does come in from behind, hits the slam. There is the root, and then the hook onto Stixa. The slowing sands comes out as well. Will we see a burrow charge? Trad jumps onto and kills the big beetle while Mezzos recaptures the point. I'm not sure. He must have used the burrow charge at some point or just thought he didn't need to use it. But there's the death. And now, once again, this Genji has gone mid. They're putting tons of pressure onto Ronin. Falstad is flying top to prevent the capture of the Dragon Knight. Bet you will try, but it's captured. The Shrine of the Sun is captured before. Trad will jump onto the Falstad. Out comes the deflect. Batu is here as well, though. Falstad has to barrel roll away. The Shrine of the Moon has been recaptured by Heliga. Heliga, sorry. No R. Don't pronounce R's in French. In French, I guess. Or Francais. In the meantime, Fundamentals did capture their bruiser camp, which will put a lot of pressure on the top lane. Leo is going nowhere. He's got to clear that. Both points captured by Le Finiquip. The Slowing Sands will come out, putting pressure on Rock Ripper and Kina. This bottom is captured now by Fundamentals. In the mid, Genji is keeping an eye on the Dragon Shrine. Batu fighting Ronin in the top lane. Does get the Drain Hope, but needs to clear out this wave before it breaks down his gate, and also needs to dodge all these attacks. But Genji has killed Falstad mid lane. Trad murdering the Dwarf and his duck. There is the Slowing Sands. Rock Ripper misclicks his teleport, barely survives. Sticks are getting low, but Mezzos is almost out of mana, and 10s are in, which means a new Brack has been grabbed and gorged. There's the push on Mezzos. He is sent to Australia. The root comes out, but Stixa is still alive. And Mezzos just decides to get some mana since he's home anyway. Oh. Both shrines are captured by Fundamental, but Chu is taking back the Shrine of the Sun. In comes the Lightning Rod from the Falstad. Puts some damage on Rebirth. There comes a massive shove, and now out comes the Light Bomb onto Rebirth, and the Slowing Sand Stixa. They did a huge turn here. Six is taking a ton of damage. The hook misses. Out comes the Mighty Gust to once again save the life of the Bullying Beetle. Let's take a quick look at our level 10s while we're here. We've got Cocoon for a noob. Last Rites from Malthael. Trad does take a good chunk of damage from Rock Ripper's combo there on Li Ming. The Mighty Gust, the Massive Shove, and the Massive Shove keeps Kina safe in that Entomb. But oh, the hook is on, and they kill the Stukov. Admiral Zerg is dead, and Stixa taking a lot of damage now from Trad and Mezzos. They will kill the Beetle as well, and that is a 2-for-0, and a steal of the Giant Shrine here from Le Finiquip. And Wave of Force from Li Ming, because that's what we were talking about before. They are now pressuring Ronin in this mid lane. He's taking so much damage from the Chromie's Dragon's Breath. My goodness, that will be both shrines captured by the members of Le Finiquip, as Nubrak and Stukov are just coming back to life now, and Anduin is collecting. Not always the best idea to have your healer in the Dragon Knight, but he's who is there, and that's who they will send. On the Finiquip, we've got Slowing Sands, Gorge, Light Bomb, Entomb, and X-Strike. So all abilities we've actually seen in game. Oh, but the Cocoon, it is the counter on that Gorge, and I do get Merovingian out. A lot of defensive tools on the side of Fundamentals. They've got the ability. Oh, that hook was so close to Li Ming with that extra distance. Dragon Knight taking down this bottom gate. The silence is onto Rebirth here. Slowing Sands is out, and the Giants are helping as well. Mezzos takes a big chunk from that long-distance orb, though.
That beast is not my beloved.
That beast is not my beloved. His sister is. Rare. Kina's taking a lot of damage. Entomb comes out. Out comes the Wave of Force as well, splitting this team up. Batu is pushed back by the Massive Shove. In comes Trad as well. In comes the Genji Light Bomb. This is a combination people like. There's the X-Strike. It makes Falstad very low. Genji pops the deflect. They jump onto Stixa as well. But Batu was pushed back. He's going back to meet the Malthael mid. The silence onto Genji. He's low on mana. He's so low. Rock Ripper wants to hit, but the Slowing Sand should help. Out comes the Hammering. It misses. The orb comes out also. It misses. The hook is onto Stukov, and he is gorged. But the root onto Stixa. They're not able to save him with the Cocoon, and they blow up the support of Fundamentals. Another hook comes out. It just misses. Roaming and taking a ton of damage, though. The Cocoon comes out on Genji, but they kill Falstad. And this mid-game is starting to turn into a rout for La Equipe. Another 2-for-0 as these Stitches hooks are getting very, very scary. Trad will jump onto the Li Ming. The hook comes out, grabs a minion. I think that's who they wanted. This particular minion, a real threat. The double soak coming out again from our offlaners. Once again, the siege camp is taken, so Leoric will be sent to deal. The Skeleton King will be here to kill what looks kind of like ghostly dudes here. Look at those weird ghostly faces. Trad putting pressure on Malthael once again. Unable to dodge the shade. Stitches looking for another strange hook angle. He gets Stukov again! There's the Gorge! And they once again have the Zerg Admiral. Out comes the light bulb in the slowing sands. The Mighty Gus is going to come up. Kina survives on almost no hit points. Trag jumps onto the Stuka. Elegar, though, getting caught on the other side. Both supports are going to die. The last rites kills Anduin as Genji kills Stukov. It's a 1-for-1, and it is the healers. As Leoric has been top this entire time, cleaning out that way. Ronan gets hooked. Not a lot of escapes here for this Malthael as he is caught and killed. And Rebirth Stitches is a tank to be feared. Excuse me, just had to have a quick cough there. So the Shrine of the Sun is under the command of our red team. And they do have a 2-level or a level and a half lead. And Fundamentals will be looking to hit 16 before they engage again. Giants have been captured. And that's one thing that they've been doing religiously on Fundamental's side. They have been getting their camps every time there's been one. They do hit 16. We're on an even talent tier. Falstad recaptures the Shrine of the Sun. Now we do have the double pulls from Anduin. We do see the strong melee build, the Mithril Maze Spectral Leech build for Leoric, which makes him very scary to 1v1 now. I would say with these two abilities, he becomes one of the scarier duelists in the game, especially once he finishes it for that 50% attack speed buff. But Trad jumps up. They're jumping on Ronan again, and he's pushed up just a little bit too far. He's going to try and get into the bush, but the Entomb comes out, and Ronan's going to die. I'm not sure why he used last rites there. I don't know if that was... and in the bottom, they also kill Falstad, even though they were outnumbered. Chromie is in the Dragon Knight and is smashing down the mid fort. And things have gone from bad to worse for the members of Fundamentals. They had very strong control in the middle. That looked like jam spreading over the ground there. Why isn't there a PB&J Stukov skin, guys? Now that Walmart, good lord. Now that Microsoft is in control, we need a PB&J skin. We need like a little piece of bread there. The tentacles can be like, I don't know, other breakfast things. I'm getting sidetracked. All right, and in the top, they're going to go for this fort as well. Trad is taking the aggro, but the members of Fundamentals are here. They're looking to punish. The Genji Light Bomb comes out, hits nobody. There's the pull from Helegar, but we do see Trad go back. They're jumping onto the Rebirth. They do kill the Chromie. Rebirth has caught the Mighty Gust, will push the other members away, and that's a 2-for-0. The members of Fundamentals are not ready to quit yet, but minions will finish off this top fort. And the amount of pressure we're seeing in this game is somewhat shown in the only 48 stacks for the Falstad. Normally Falstad can get a bit more, but they've really been forced into answering macro pressure. Here comes the jump in from Stixa as they do outnumber. The root is on. Trad here, pops the deflect just in time to not lose a bunch of health to that combo. The unstoppable onto Batsu, he's so low. He is going to go down to Ronan's Malthael. A 3-for-0 for the members of Fundamentals, and this is the time of the game where you want to start getting hot. Batsu using his abilities, using his trait to try to get back to life more quickly. Meanwhile, Anduin and Genji in the other lanes of the map just making sure they get wave prio, and Helaga and Trad perhaps looking to take these giants. Falstad is flies down to help Malthael. Trad was pressuring Malthael on this point. In comes Styxa, jumps on Trad, great pull by Helaga. And the slowing sands comes out. Kina stands still to drop the puddle, but gets blown away by the Chromie and the Genji X-Strike. But you coming in, looking for the Entomb engage, but Moroving Ian runs away. We do have 20s for Le Fin d'Equipe now. We do have Unraveling from the Chromie, Master Hooker from the Stitches, Censure from Anduin, Buried Alive for Leoric, and Living Weapon from this Genji. It's still a half level away. Rebirth looking for the hook, but there's no one here with him. He gorges, but he's all alone. There is the pull from Anduin, but there's no follow-up. Whatever Rebirth was calling, his team was not having it. This siege camp is pushing in completely for free up against this gate. And it's not being answered at the moment. The members of Fundamentals are rotating down. Trad. And they will kill Malthael. 20s still have not been realized for the members of Fundamentals. There is the cocoon onto Genji, but it's simply an escape tool at this time. Batu does finish off this camp in the top. Dragon Knight will go over. No, Falsette's flying top. Can he recapture before Batu captures the Dragon Knight? No! He just misses, and Dragon Knight will go over. The Light Bomb, we see the remains. It's popped, but Trad had to get out, and so no one is hit by the Anduin ultimate. Styxa steps out. There is a time trap behind him. Oh, a bunch of damage on a Trad. Forced to use the X-Strike. The Gorge is onto a Nubarak, and Moroving gets kicked out. Styx will get caught in the slowing sands and blown away. And there's the hook onto Rock Ripper. I don't believe Rock Ripper has died yet this game. On Ming, no, 0 deaths. Genji and Li Ming, the only ones not to die this game. There's the hook onto Kina. Stukov without escapes of their own, but pushes the Stitches out to no man's land. Very, very low, and that's the end of Stukov. The wind tunnel has come out from the Falstad, but this bottom keep will be going down, destroyed by the Dragon Knight. 20's out now as well for the members of Fundamentals. We see Rewind for Nubarak. No one can stop death from Malthael. The wind tunnel from Falstad, top off, and the repulsion from Li Ming. They're looking to end here. They want to end the game, and there still is 2 dead on the side of Fundamentals. Ronan will go down, but so will Batu. The offlaners both killed, but there's so much damage on this core, and it is over. Game number 1 goes to Le Fin d'Equipe. GG. This was a game that felt pretty even. Sorry, my voice is a little crackly, and I will need to grab a drink in between games here. Very, very even in the early game, and even launching into the mid game, this game was pretty close. I think what really turned this game around was the level 13 hooks that Rebirth started getting. That longer hook range means you can be dangerous from further away, and it's that much harder. And they were far enough away with the Anduin pull and with the extra length of the Stitches hook that a Nubarak couldn't get in time to cocoon, and that's why we see these 5 deaths on Kina Stukov. It's not because they mispositioned, it's because Rebirth was hitting tremendous hooks from maximum distance, getting extra pulled by Helaga Anduin, and there's no way to save the Stukov. And that just snowballed into this 16-7 advantage. They started winning fight after fight because they could take 5v4 fights, and they played this exactly the way you need a Stitches comp to be played. So very well done by Le Fin d'Equipe. They win game number 1 on Dragonshire. Let's see where they take us for game number 2. So it looks like game number 2 is going to be on the tomb of the Spider Queen. So we have the Dragon Shire, now we have the Spider Queen. Lots of animals. Are dragons considered animals? Are dragons people because they're sentient? That's a good question. You know it's a good question when you have to tell yourself it's a good question. I mean, obviously. So, Tomb of the Spider Queen, another fantastic map if you like team fights. The lanes are all very close together. Rotations are very quick. So, globals are often less prioritized on this map, and we see things that can do a lot of damage going from one lane to another quickly. So we often see Blaze for the AoE stun coming from one lane to another. Diablo and Garrosh can be really strong in these misty areas in between on the rotates. So time to collect some spider butts and see who wins game number 2 between Fundamentals and Le Fin Equipe. So, the blue team is once again Fundamentals. We have Diablo, Imperius, Ariel, Cassia, Tassadar. Very good all-around team. Again, important to remember, Ariel has no cleanse, and no one on this team really has a self-cleanse. The Diablo, Imperius, Ariel, and Tassadar all give you really good CC tools. The Tassadar wall does empower the whip and the charge from Diablo, and Imperius's Celestial Charge follow-up is one of the stronger stuns in the game. It lasts a good chunk of time. Cassia can be a hyper carry depending on what's played, and we actually do see a role swap, not a player swap, but a role swap between Merovingian and Kina in this game. But you've got good wave clear, you've got good camp clear, you've got a lot of opportunities to play a number of different ways, but also very strong team fight comp. So, I do like this composition. I think they've drafted very well in game number 2 for Fundamentals. On the far side, we see Karazim, Leoric, Johanna, Tychus, and Falstad. Again, we see a role swap. This time, Mesos and Elega are switching roles. Again, Leoric is very strong, and Betu seems to enjoy playing the Skeleton King. See him a lot on this hero, so he's got a lot of comfortability. Johanna, a strong overall tank, and is one of the few who can safely rotate into this Diablo, Imperius, Ariel core. Tychus is pretty much necessary into the Diablo, and the Karazim 7-sided strike will help with that as well. So this is another team that's not afraid to fight. The fall side gives them more overall pressure. The only real downside of this team is that Karazim has very low healing, but outside of Tychus, everyone has a self-heal, and if Tychus takes the, I think it's 7, where he can, or is it 13? I don't play enough Tychus, where he can heal himself off of minigun, then theoretically they all have some level of self-heal. So, excuse me. This team can survive with Karazim as the healer, but they need to kill somebody quickly. So I'm guessing that they're going to be fairly patient until level 10, and then when they have Blessed Shield and Tomb and Gust, they'll try to lock somebody down and use the 7-sided, the Odin, or the minigun, and just try to blow somebody away at that time. But all matchups are skill matchups. So let's see what these teams give us in game number 2 between Fundamentals and Le Fin Equipe. In the blue, we have Fundamentals. Stixa plays Diablo. Ronin is on Imperius. Me Roving Ian is on Ariel. Kina on Cassia. She's not playing Sonya. Kina! And Rockripper21 playing the Tassadar. In the red, Transcendence Karazim. Interesting. Into this much CC, that's an interesting pick. We do have Le Fin Equipe. We've got Mesos on Karazim, Batu on Leoric, Rebirth on Johanna, Trad playing Tychus, and Falstad being played by Elega. So we have the Feast on Fear from the Diablo, gaining more healing when he stuns somebody with his Shadow Charge or Overpower. We do have Burn the Impure, the percent health damage for the Imperius. Searing Light for Ariel. The Thunder Strokes, the Lightning Fury Q stacking build for Arcasia. And Psi Infusion. Excuse me. So Mana Return on the W for this Tassadar. Trad gets out. Good heal there by Mezzos. I do love this golden boxer skin for Karazim. Karazim's my favorite hero in the game. If I gush a little bit about him, it's because we never get to see him, and he's just a really cool character. Not a great healer, but a cool character. On the red side for Lefiniki, we do have Transcendence, so we're not seeing Iron Fists out of this Karazim. That gives him more sustained heals outside of fights, I would say, when he's fighting minions or fighting camps. But it does mean his usual diving ability is a little weakened. But there is the kill onto Styx's Diablo. They find them, catch them, and kill them. This must just be Batu's go-to. We've got Fealty unto Death once again for the Leo. In a sense, this sort of makes up for if you miss Drain Hope. I would say this is a bit of a safety talent. If you miss Drain Hope but you still clear the wave, which is Leoric's specialty, you will gain health and mana back. And 7 mana times 35 health is lots. It's lots of health back. So we see Mezzos and Trad taking their camp. The camp has not yet been started by the members of Fundamentals. We have the Zealous Claire, the flashlight build for Johanna, quarterback for the Tychus, and once again, Gathering Storm, the Q build Hammerang for Elagaz and Falstad. Another character he's very comfortable playing. I do think the members of Lefiniki prioritize comfort. We often see the same characters again and again because they're really good on them. Elagar plays a lot of this Falstad. Batu plays a lot of the Leoric, and it makes sense to play characters that you're good at. But there is the flip and the shove onto Rebirth's Johanna. She is not going to be allowed to escape by this team. And the blind thunder, or a lightning fury over the wall, kills the Crusader. The Imperial charge, Ronan was expecting the sidestep, but Trad was trying to get mounted, so it comes out as a miss. Fantabulous. Again, we see the healing sustain is a little lower for a Karazim versus an Ariel. In a knockdown, drag-out 5v5 team fight, I think it would... If there was any sort of sustain to it, obviously the advantage would go to the Ariel with her massive amount of sustain healing versus the Tee-Hee tickle healing of Karazim, but that's not really what he's picked for. Now, I thought this team would be pretty patient until 7, and they are in terms of engaging in a big fight, but they're certainly not playing this game like slow and patient. They're coming in for the gank onto Ronan, and he is dead. That is the end of the Angel of whatever he's the Angel of. Angel Boss? Styxa turning in the bottom now that it's safe. The 17 turned in by Mezzos and Elaga. So, and Johanna is one of those tanks who's actually pretty solid at wave clear. Most tanks are actually kind of crap at it, but Johanna brings an element of strength to that. They will look at Styxa, so Rock Gripper and Styxa forced to rotate the safer way. Their bruiser camp is taken by Kina and Roving Ian. There is 7-6 in talent tier. Batu turns in 6. They do have enough to get a final turn in here. Who has those gems? Trad has most of those gems. Well, Trad and Rebirth both have 7. Oh, that misses. And so Ronan has to be careful. Both these offlaners are very skill shot dependent for winning a duel. And so this literally is just straight up a skill matchup. Now, they do get the Web Weaver descending. They're trying to look for a fight here. They don't find the engage they want, and they do have to back up, having used a number of resources trying to find this fight. Falstad pushing out the wave top so they can get maximum value from their Web Weavers, as Trad just keeps throwing these grenades because now he has the DOT, the melting point. He did take Master Assassin, so we should expect to see Odin at 10. Rebirth does come in, hits the Condemn. There's the fend from Cassia, but the wall doesn't manage to trap anyone behind it. So this Red Weaver will push down. This gate is being destroyed. Meanwhile, Ronan trying to push back here, and Falstad free pushing with it in the top. It's a 3v4 mid, but they do have the Web Weaver damage. It is down. Oriole does get grabbed. The Fend comes out from Cassia. Rebirth looking to slow. Mezzos again. Oh, so close to a stun. Just comes short of the tower. And Mezzos Karazim will survive. The Monk has fought Diablo many times over the course of the players of Diablo 3. And he is victorious yet again. Or at least he survives yet again.
It is over.
It is over. So top fort down, bottom fort at half, and mid fort being hard pushed by the members of the Keep right now. There is the flip, but the barrel from Elegant keeps him safe. But the Celestial Charge from Ronin means this team is so split. This team fight is so split up. Batu is getting away, and the other members actually also get away. Batu trying to be safe, uses the Wraith Walk, but he's in a terrible position here. He's going to lose these 11 gems as he gets 1v5'd by the members of Fundamentals. Johanna pushing this wave top, forcing a response, and the blue web weavers will descend and bring their celebration of spidery butts into the Nexus. And it's the Hinterland Blast from Falstad. That big group of... Here comes the stun. The 7-sided strike. They will manage to escape in time. So we have 7-sided from Karazim, Entomb from Batu's Leoric. We've got the Blessed Shield from Johanna, Odin, Commandeer Odin, and Hinterland Blast from the Falstad. So no Mighty Gust this time. Elegar is going to wait for those pull-ins by Rebirth and blow people away. A good unstoppable there by Johanna. Mezzos gets caught and killed. Karazim overstepping just the tiniest bit, but that's the danger you have on the Monk. Batu rotates bottom to deal with this web weaver. It's going to be cleared before it can do much more than damage the gate. Mid is already gone. It doesn't damage the gate here either. And in the top, because this wave was so pushed in, it's already at a third of its health as it waddles its way down the lane. But it is supported by 4 members of Fundamentals. Rebirth collects up what minions they can on this Johanna. There's the stun by Stick, so the Iron Skin will come out. Out comes the Hinterland Blast. It looks like it's 2. The Blessed Shield comes out and stuns a few. There's no opportunity for follow-up, but it does prevent an engage at that moment by Fundamentals. Tens will come out for them as well. They've taken Apocalypse for Diablo, Angelic Kidnapping for the for Ronin's Imperius, Crystal Aegis for the Ariel, Ball Lightning for Cassia, and Black Hole for the Tassar. They're pinging onto Ronin. They're looking to once again. The Entomb comes out. The Angelic Kidnapping comes out though and saves him from the 7-sided strike. But Helaga is here as well, and they blow away the boss of La Angel. And that's the hard thing about an offlaner on this map. It's so small that if you don't have a good escape, it's so easy to get ganked. And while Imperius does have Celestial Charge, that's not a good escape. It's such a small amount. Odin will get popped as they look to finally take down this mid fort as well. And that's it. Now, mid prio is fairly important on this map because of the rotates through a very short middle lane. With mid gone, that makes rotating much safer for La Fin Equipe and much more difficult for Fundamentals as they come bottom with the last few ticks of Odin to try and finish off the bottom port. But the stun onto the wall, onto Mezzos. He pops the 7-side. He's looking to get out. He does jump out, but the Ball Lightning is out and it's going to kill Mezzos. And despite their intention to get this fort, they've instead walked right into a trap. There's the flip onto Johanna. Trad being chased by Cassia. Elegar trying to save Trad from Kina and does, but in the bottom, Johanna was left alone and the Crusader is killed. It's interesting what we see here. We see the Monk and the Crusader, so we see 2 teammates of the Nephilim on the side of Le Fin Equipe, whereas on the side of Fundamentals, we have the Angel matchup. We've got Imperius and Ariel, but they've also teamed up with Diablo. So this is just terrible. This is the worst kind of treachery. They're working with the Lord of Terror. What has happened to you guys? Well, I mean, Imperius was always kind of brain twisted, but Ariel, come on, you're the Angel of Hope working with the Lord of Terror. What's this hopeful terror nonsense? Anyway, things are actually happening in this game. They jump onto the Johanna, but the Iron Skin puts her in a great position, and there comes the blast. The Hinder Moon Blast blows away the Ariel. The Entomb catches 2. Rock Ripper and Styx is stuck, and the 7-sided strike will kill with the help of Tychus. Will kill Diablo. The slow onto Rock Ripper. It's a 3 for nothing. Diablo is back because he did have full souls, but while they did get their Web Weavers, it cost them 3 deaths. In the bottom, Batu will clear this for free, and it didn't even hit the Giants, meaning they will free push here. Mezos and Trad go top to clear this Web Weaver. That will do next to nothing, and they only lose a little bit of gate. Now, there is a rotate going towards Batu, but he does have the Wraithwalk, and he uses it at the perfect time. Very clever use by Batu there. Bochu, sorry. Bochu. Rebirth doing a great job anchoring here. They don't see Rebirth. They don't check it. They go this way. It's 31 gems for Bochu here. Next to no gems on the side of our blue team, but they will rotate to boss. They were seen by this wave, though. No, they just went to check. They're not going to start, and they are seen clearing this wave, so Le Finikeep will be aware. Elegar and Trad looking as Rebirth stops the rotation, so this turn-in will happen. They do jump on Rebirth's Johanna. Out comes the Iron Skin. Once again, catches Ariel. There's the stun, the Blessed Shield. Bam! That is the end of the Angel of Hope. Odin popped for this siege again, as the Web Weavers do come in at the mid and bottom lanes. Top will not get a lot of value. Botu taking a ton of damage there, Botu. 16s have been reached for the Finikeep there. They've got a big lead in game number 2 here. With their healer dead, the members of Fundamentals have to be very careful not to take any unnecessary damage here. Rebirth zoning away, taking now the shots. Out comes, the Entomb, but Batu takes the ball line, taking a ton of damage, forced to Wraith walk away with 300 health. Out comes the Black Hole. Batu doesn't want to get hit by that and just manages to keep himself safe. In the bottom, Ronan does a good job clearing away with his cleave the minions and the spiders. They will not lose much here, but they do lose their gate in mid, and in top, they'll help this last Web Weaver, which has about half health, push in to Fundamentals top keep. Mezos jumps in, has to jump back out. There's the Unstoppable onto Trad with the 16, the cleansing touch for Karzim. And there's a maybe 3% damage on that fort. Not 16s yet. I would think that they want to be careful they don't get... But there's the stun onto Kina and gets blown away instantly as the turn happens. Apocalypse will be popped as well as Crystal Aegis onto that Ariel. But out comes the Entomb, and Stuxa is going to get killed here, but Elegar gets caught as well. Killed by the whips of the Angel of Hope. Mezos gets out with 100 hit points. So, it's a turn into another turn. But Le Finikeep is considering taking this boss, even with Karzim at giggle health. Transcendence will get the health back more quickly. He's going to tap because it is so close. The Bruiser Camp will go over to Fundamentals. Rebirth getting very low here. Mezos jumping in for the heavenly... what's that called? Breath of Heaven. So, because they couldn't contest the boss, they're taking all the other camps that they can. Trad and Botu. Man, I'm like butchering this now. And if you were number 1 drag for BE, my faith has been rewarded. They're an excellent team, Ektar. They're an excellent team. And they're showing well here. They're playing this Karazim comp perfectly, and it thrills me. They will siege top with the Odin and with this boss. Out comes the Entomb and the light bomb. Bam! Tassadar is dead. Cassie is dead. The 7-sided strike comes out. Ariel's taking all kinds of damage. Imperius is murderized. Elegar finishes off the Ariel, and the only one left is the Lord of Terror. But he's just stomping in frustration, and the flames come out. But barring a miracle, this will be the end of game number 2 as the boss is still at half health and Styx has no way to stop it. Will charge out, pops the Apocalypse. There's a stun on 3, but the Iron Skin comes out and this boss is slapping away. It is a 2-0 win for the Finikeep. Domination over Fundamentals. GG. They are definitely rewarding your faith, Ektar. Equipe has performed excellently over and over. There were some gorgeous entombs from Batu's Leoric in this game. As a person who loves to play Leoric, he's my highest leveled hero. Love to see the good entombs. Love to see the auto attack build to make you a scary duelist, and some really good plays here from Botu. The Karazim was played really well. A few times getting caught out. The air ally, since the most recent, the 20% and the more health means that it gives your casters more damage, your Falstad and your Tychus Grenade. It gives your heals more oomph. It gives vision. And it now can take more than just one hit. So, very, very powerful and used to good effect by Mesos in this game. Rebirth, both the Stitches and the Johanna, just very brave, very smartly played, and just a great come together of a team up. We almost never see the Hinterland Blast, even from Elega. We don't often see Hinterland Blast. Gus is just more, but with the Entomb and the Blessed Shield, they took that as an opportunity for a big burst combo they wouldn't otherwise have. None of Tychus's damage is bursty, and Falstads tend to be iffy bursty, but a hammer or a hammerang into the Hinterland Blast onto an Entombed or Blessed Shield target. That last fight, they instantly killed the Entombed Cassia and Ariel, and that was that. So, a 2-0 win for the Equipe. They remain either the top or second, I think top, of Division B East. If you want to see the statistics, they're all here. But GG's here. We will have another cast at... I'm going to tell you the wrong time, aren't I? Sorry, give me 1 second and we'll check that because my memory is old manny at this point. And I will tell you for sure what time that cast is. In about an hour and a half, we will have another cast of Deny Defend a Haka versus Bad Rats of Div C. So, thank you so much for joining me. I've been Omster. And, yeah, the VODs will be on Twitch for 7 days. Otherwise, they'll be on my YouTube, Omster. Glad you enjoyed, and have yourself a great rest of your day. Hopefully we see you in an hour and a half. But if not, go enjoy yourself some Heroes of the Storm.